Well, welcome back to episode 10 of In Good Company. Listen, we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. And today's guest, you've seen his work all over the city of Rochester. He's about to be a dad. He's a huge Buffalo Bills fan just like me. Without further ado, Madison.
Hi.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
That was a great little hello. I almost called you Mad Dog, which I feel like that's just... You know.
I have a lot of nicknames, I guess. You know, my name's Madison. It's a very feminine name, I guess. I get a lot made fun of it for it. But
yeah, I mean, one of my best friends growing up, his name was Jamie. Similar vibe, right? There could be a girl named Jamie, guy named Jamie.
Yeah.
I think that's common. Madison's nice though, and then Wesolowski is how you say your last name.
yeah, Madison Wesolowski.
But people say Weso.
People call me Wezo, Mad Dog, Maddie.
Wow.
You know, I don't really fray from a lot of it.
Yeah, don't discriminate. I love that. So
fine.
for those that don't know you and kind of a little bit about your story, just tell us about who you are, where you at, what do you do for work? We'd love to hear a little bit of your story.
Yeah, so let's see, where do I begin? I grew up outside of Buffalo in a town called Elma. Went to the Iroquois School District. From there, I stayed local, went to college at Buff State, played a little bit of basketball, a little bit of football.
How tall are you, by the way?
I am 6'4".
Wow, same.
Yeah, Mike is towering over me sometimes.
Yeah.
But from there, I kind of stayed in Buffalo for a year. Then my wife got a job in Rochester. I was working for a large GC, traveling a little bit around, and we kind of wanted to find some more local stuff for both of us. So she got promoted to Rochester. I found this job I work at right now, Thompson Builds, and we live in Batavia now. So we're local. We're
Love
still
it.
here.
You guys love Batavia Downs. You're always going to the casino. You just love it. You can't.
Yeah, if you picture a Batavian, it's us.
Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah, totally.
No.
You are a Buffalo Bills season ticket holder, and I would like to just lob a quick question in to say, give us, I mean, for people that maybe aren't from Buffalo, but they've seen all the burning tables and people getting, driven into tables, just what is the tailgate experience truly like coming from a season ticket holder? Just give us a little sample of what's a typical Sunday looking like.
Yeah, so we've been season ticket holders now for 10 years. We have a lot of fun. We have one of the best, maybe I'm being a little biased here, but one of the best tailgates
I've been.
around. He has been. And I think it's a lot of just good food, good company. So it's a good time. The throwing of people through tables, burning stuff, that's everywhere. Not really us. I have definitely been the person to throw somebody through a table, but I have never been through a table myself. But, a couple years ago, I just decided to buy a big DJ speaker and start spinning tracks myself. So if you're ever in the area and you hear some good music, come on down. It's probably me.
It's DJ Mad.
Yeah, I try.
I love that. Yeah.
Just from my iPhone. Nothing special.
No, but you've got it dialed in.
Well,
I mean,
now iPhone has a fader, so sometimes I'm fading songs into the next, and it just sounds authentic.
So you're able to drink and still have a good time, but also still manage all the pressure.
I guess
that comes.
I manage the vibes of the tailgate. Yeah.
Whoa.
See, I'm not the tailgate king. That's my father-in-law.
Of course.
But I guess you can call me the vibe king.
I would love to.
Yeah, you should come.
What
down.
if we called you the Tiger King?
See, somebody's already got that. Somebody's already got that.
Well,
it's not gonna be me.
anyway, he's fine. So okay, love the Bills. I've tailgated with you before.
Yeah.
Incredible experience. I saw you in like the third or fourth quarter with your final drink of the day. It was a peanut butter screwball espresso martini.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of go back to where Batavian, right? So I'm in the stands.
I am who I am.
I am who I am, right? But when you throw me into a sweet section and they have actual liquor and screwball martinis, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, but that's, we'll save that story for another day.
That's fine.
Work-wise, you work for Thompson Builds. How long have you been there? What is your role within the company? Would love to hear just a little bit more about what you do for work.
Yeah, so Thompson Builds, we're out of Churchville, New York, just outside of Rochester, and my title there now is Project Director. So right now I'm kind of overseeing the project management, pre-construction, the office side of things, rather. So there we got like 4 or 5 guys in the office. When we go into the field, we do our own site work. We do our own masonry. We have carpenters. And what I really like, it sets us apart. Well, I feel like it sets us apart, is being able to control kind of our own in-house labor.
Yep.
So a lot of GCs now are kind of transforming or pushing more towards CMing. So that's strictly just management. They don't really have a ton of boots on the ground. And if they do, that's great. That's why I feel like that's our advantage, is we are able to have people that are on the ground that work for us.
Yeah.
That know what they're doing, right? They're not just pushing paper like me. I push paper, but I have guys in the field that I'm surrounded by that actually know how to put things together, which is awesome.
Yeah, and you guys have certainly divisions where you have specialists. It's not just generalists, so to speak. Certainly they can do the majority of those things. But I think what I've really appreciated knowing you guys over the past couple of years, and you guys have been a client of ours for a few years, just seeing the way that you guys have what I would call that small town feel, but you're still doing huge projects. I mean, you have relationships with some of the biggest brands out there. Yeah. How have you guys been able to maintain that family run, everybody that calls matters type of thing? How have you been able to maintain that, but still expand the business the way that you guys have?
Yeah, I think it comes down to basically the core values of the company. The company's owned by Paul Thompson, great guy, great values, and it really stems to the entire employee. So there's family that works for us. There's family friends that work for us. It kind of it's just good, grounded people. We all are in for the greater good. We're all trying to be better every day. We're not out there so much just competition, who's who can be and beat what, but it's really just working towards a common goal.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are fun to be around, right? It's like when we talk about things like In Good Company, I mean, you guys have a golf tournament coming up where people actually want to be there. And, we have a team that comes and takes photos, but we're always like, hey, can we sneak on the golf cart too and play with you guys? Because it's just fun to be around you guys, right? So again, the culture dynamic of what you guys have built is absolutely fantastic. The other question that I had, and we've talked about this over the past couple months, there's just a lot of competition certainly in any industry, but I think with construction specifically, you're on these bid lists and you're competing against other contractors and trying to get the bid. You guys though have more of a collaborative type of approach. Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously, ton of competition in the air. Ton of GCs, CMs. Everyone's out there trying to get the best and low number to beat whoever else. They're trying to win jobs. Like I said, we have that in-house labor. So when we don't necessarily win the job as a general contractor, we will most certainly give you our site number, right? So if you're the low winning GC and you know that there's a big site work package, we'll be more than happy to share our number with you to see if it can be still competitive for you guys and meet your bottom line. But obviously, we're still getting a piece of the puzzle. So it's fun in that aspect where, for us, if we lose the bigger picture, we can still gain the smaller piece. Those pieces built up over the year can make for a really good year. And it's kind of working with people just to kind of push things along, right? Yeah. Like I said, that competition style based things, I feel like that's just kind of pre-adolescent, right? I mean, we're all here trying to make money, provide for our families. So why stir up so much competition rather than, hey, how can I help you? How can you help me?
Yeah. No, I think it's such a great breath of fresh air in the industry because, again, thinking about you guys, as you show up and do that once or twice for some of these bigger companies, now you don't even have to send them a quote. They're going to call you because they trust you and you've built up that trust. Yep. And I think that's fantastic. We have a segment in the In Good Company podcast every single episode called Fails of the Week. And this doesn't just have to be this week, but I want you to think about your tenure at Thompson Builds. Think about a time where you just made a royal mistake, a big fail. Again, I think for people listening, it's very easy to see all the flashy, fun stuff, the big buildings go up and all that. But look all of us are human. All of us have these moments of failing and having to overcome. Right. Share a story with us that you think would be worth.
Yeah, I can.
Sharing.
So there's projects that are very successful and there's projects that are not successful. You without getting into the weeds of it, there's a recent project that comes to mind where it didn't really work out that well for Thompson Builds. And, you got to take away, it's a learning curve, right? There's things from certain aspects of every job that you won big, you lost a lot.
Yeah.
You kind of works its way out in the end so that it's okay for you. But obviously you want to have more wins than losses. But when you have those losses, and I can think of it just without getting in the weeds too much about it, but just learning from those mistakes and not letting it happen again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every time that you make a mistake and you do it again, then there's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So doing that thing one time, it kind of really sucks in that moment, but not doing that again it makes you a better person, makes the company better. It's nice to learn from your mistakes, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think integrity matters. I think doing what you say that you're going to do and meaning it, and then I think if you do end up making that mistake, to own that mistake and to say, hey, I did miss that email, or I think that there's a lot of times when you want to always position yourself as, oh, of course I wouldn't forget that, and of course this, but to be honest and to share those things. And we've actually done that at Thomas Media Group with you guys. There were some projects that we were behind on, and we had a really long phone call. This is recent. I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago, where I had a conversation with you and said, we dropped the ball on this.
Yeah.
We're gonna repair this. We're gonna move forward with this. And I think that those are actually generators of trust, where I think our mindset thinks that that's gonna lose trust, and in actuality, it actually gains it.
Totally agree with that. It really is just making sure that you don't do it again, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing. You can't have all these mistakes and then keep doing them and doing them. Like I said, it just kind of creates a bigger problem. Maybe there's a bigger issue. Yeah. But just to be a better person, you got to learn from everything you do, right? Even if it's a good thing, how can you make it better? Yep.
Yeah, and you guys have done a great job of that. I love your family. I've known Tori here for about a little over a year now, and certainly I've known you longer, but you guys are just great people. You're welcoming, you're caring, you're kind. You're DJ Mad, baby. It's like there's always a party going on. Come on over.
I try to provide vibes.
You're
big vibe.
You're
guy.
the vibe king. Yeah. We've already discussed that.
Well, that's my new thing. That's my new handle. I'm actually gonna do that now.
You should. Please follow Madison at Vibe King @Vibe King on Instagram.
Yeah, that followers of one Mike Thomas right now. You could be the second.
Yeah, wonderful. Tori's pregnant. You guys are having your first baby.
Oh my goodness.
How are we feeling, Dad? Talk us through it.
Feeling good. I really am. I feel like from a young age I've always been the lover of hanging out with children. I don't know. I don't mean that in a weird way, but my mom is the oldest of 5, so all of my cousins are younger than me. So, and I'm the youngest. I'm the baby of the family. But all my cousins are younger. It was just always fun when a new baby was around. I was always there wanting to hold him or her. And now, going through this process of watching my wife become pregnant, 8 months in now, and it's just a really different feeling. Like, you can think about being pregnant for other people. It's like, wow, she's pregnant. Okay, great. Yeah. But then you get to watch every little tiny thing that goes on in that process, and then your brain starts to really understand, like, this is just truly a miracle. How is this tiny little thing growing into this human? And in a month, we'll hopefully get to meet them in a timely fashion. But it's quite interesting. It's very fun.
What was that thing you did with your hand when you said this tiny little thing? What were you?
Well, that would be. I'm not sure if you know how this works.
Yeah.
But there's a sperm.
Got it.
That meets the egg.
Great.
And if they meet together, they do create a special bond.
They kiss.
And we can get in the weeds. I don't.
No, that's okay. I understand. That's birds and the bees. We'll do that. We'll do that another time.
Nature's cool, man.
Yeah, listen,
nature's pretty awesome.
For me, as you know my story, like, I'm a huge faith guy. For me, I look at that thing in general and I go, listen, that is a miracle. I don't know how you could possibly look at something like that. And then certainly once you look at your child in the eyes, they look like you're like, what is happening? It's beautiful, man. And couldn't be more excited for you guys.
Everything's there's boxes every week now, and it's just overwhelming almost. I feel like we're right there though.
Yeah.
We're right there.
Yeah.
4 weeks left.
What? Well, let me say this, and I hope I don't butcher this quote, but one of my best friends, his dad, when we were pregnant with our first, his dad said this statement to me that has just, it totally rocked me then, and it's still really incredibly impactful when it comes to parenthood. He said, you know, when I found out that I was going to be a dad, I was so grateful that I had 9 months to become a father. And again, you think about the process, and of course it's a long process, and you're waiting and you're excited, but there's something that happens internally in your heart as you're certainly seeing the physical changes of your wife's belly getting bigger and all those things, but your mind and your heart, and even as you're putting the crib together and you're doing some of those things, you are really preparing to be a dad, which is really beautiful to think about. Now you guys have a dog, you guys have a beautiful home. How have you guys been able to manage? She works a great full-time job. You work a busy full-time job.
Yep.
How do you guys kind of do the work-life balance stuff? And certainly some of that's going to change, of course,
Absolutely.
having a new kid.
Right.
But
Right.
how have you guys been able to balance all that?
Yeah, I feel like I just turned 30. My wife's a year older than me, and you know, ever since we both finished college, it's more like that career-focused drive.
Yeah.
And I've always, if you know me, I like to party. Like I like to have a good time, right?
Yep.
So I work very hard during the week, and you know, you enjoy your weekend. So I feel like that's kind of my motto, is work hard, play hard, right? So that work-life balance is, we're there 40 plus hours a week. Tori works just as much, if not more, than I do. And, you know, just coming home and just kind of just being able to decompress with each other.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like we rely on each other in that aspect of being able to just pull yourself out of that work situation and trying to enjoy everything else.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, there's times where she's super stressed. I try to talk her out of it, talk her off that ledge per se, and vice versa. You know, it's just somebody to lean on, and it's huge to have.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the cool things for people that are maybe newly married or you're in a relationship, I feel like you guys have certainly individual hobbies that you do, of course.
Yeah.
But you guys do a lot of things together, which I think is really cool. You guys have gone on really great trips together. You guys both love the Bills and do that, you know, season ticket thing with, you know, with that together. Talk about, having shared interests and hobbies and all those things. I think that's a really unique point that you guys can bring.
it really makes life in the relationship easy, right? We've been together since high school, so we've 14 years now. I was a junior, she was a senior, different high schools, but we've been together for that amount of time. And, you know, people always say you're always at these weddings, you're always going to places. It's like, yeah, because we've worked for it. Let's go enjoy it. Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
I love doing everything with her. It's so fun. She's just right up there with me in terms of the vibes, the energy.
Okay.
I would admit she's probably a bigger Bills fan than I am.
So just to be clear, though,
Yeah.
if you're the vibe king,
Yeah.
then she's the vibe queen.
Yeah, she's
that
definitely
right?
a queen.
Okay.
She's definitely a vibe queen for
All
sure.
right. I just want to make sure that's.
Oh.
So then your baby
I
is
actually,
going to be.
Well, that's what we're really worried about. Is this baby might be too crazy.
What if you just named the baby Vibes?
That's actually a really good idea.
Think about it.
Vibes Wezo.
Yeah. Love it. Great.
We're onto something.
Yeah, I think that's great. Let me sit in the construction space really quick, and then we'll jump into our rapid fire questions, which is one of my favorite parts. Within the construction space, I think that there's a lot of what I would call these, and not as much at Thompson or whatever, but I think just in general, there's a lot of younger people that kind of get started. You know, it's a summer job. Hey, we're getting started. I'm just, you know, learning the craft, kind of growing in this space. And then I think sometimes people have this desire to say, well, why don't I just go start something on my own? Or I can go do this. I've got what it takes. What advice would you have for someone who's listening that maybe is in this blue collar type of space and they want to go do their own thing? I'm not saying shut their ideas down or something, but what advice might you have, you know, for someone who's kind of they're learning the craft. And now their mind's kind of racing of how can I make more money and how can I make more impact?
Yeah. And I think, you know, I think initially that just takes me to a place of where there's so much need for it, right? So as a general contractor, I try to find new trades, new subs, new vendors for everything, right? And it's difficult to find good people. And, when you find good people that are within the company, those good people end up just kind of leaving and starting their own thing. And I don't know if I think the most advice that I would have if somebody was looking to do that is just be honest with yourself. Hey, is the money that really good over there? But if it is, I'm happy for you that you can find it. But just be honest with your customers, with your clients. Not every job is going to be a home run.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some money. You're going to win some money.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you just start finding out where you're good at things, and then just find that little niche, because you're not going to be good at everything.
Right.
I'm not good at everything, but I know what I'm good at, and that's why I start to push that envelope. So.
And I think for someone that's in their early 20s, man, like, grind it out.
Yeah.
Show up.
You have to.
And let the cream rise to the top. And
you're not going to come out of college or out of high school or wherever you're coming from, and you're not going to make six figures right away or whatever your value is.
Yeah.
Right? You got to put in your time, unfortunately, and that could be only a year, that could be 10 years until you find that perfect thing for you.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really hard, is people get trapped in this comparison trap, especially with social media, where it's like, well, how come I can't make six figures?
Right.
This guy on Twitch streaming video games is making this.
Yeah.
And this guy that, this girl that launched an Etsy shop, she's bringing in $20,000 a month.
We don't know what their background is. They could be set up for them. They got lucky, or they really had grinded for 10 years before without posting a single thing.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yeah, or it's fake. Like it's social
fake.
media. It's like who really knows what their books look like and what their stuff looks like. But I think we can get in a comparison trap where we think that everybody else has it better than us, and we often hit the eject button instead of just pulling the throttle down a little bit.
Yeah, there was an interesting thing that one of my buddies just told me recently. The term delayed gratitude.
Yeah.
So you could have what you want right now. And really go in and dive in on that, or you could set aside that thing that you want the most right now.
Yeah.
Work towards something else, so that you gain that thing much easier in 5-10 years, and you don't even have to work for it. It just kind of shows up and it's there for you.
Yeah. There's a really interesting, I don't know who said this quote, but there's a concept that you make money with your hands in your 20s and your mind in your 30s. And so for you to be boots on the ground, continuing to push, and certainly this isn't relevant to every industry, but for the most part, as you do the task very well, then you get elevated to manager.
Yep.
Where manager is no longer doing the task, but managing the people that are doing the task, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be in that leadership type of position, or if you want to ultimately launch something one day, just like you said, you're not as much going on the construction sites and moving dirt around, but you are helping make sure that the projects are profitable, that your guys are, busy and having, great hours to work.
Right.
So again, for someone listening that's kind of itching to jump out and to make their own thing, put your boots on, show up to your job, work hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It really is. And just find what it is that you are good at and run with it. Yeah. You're not going to be good at everything. I know I'm not good at everything. Yeah. And what are you good at? What are you great at? Yeah. And find the people to surround you that will help you be better.
Yeah, and also I think there's that quote of like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's like, well, that's cool, but like, I don't think that's real. Like even an actor or someone who's like a great job, it's like they're grinding,
A golfer. Yep. You think those guys love what they do every day? It's a grind for them. I'm sure that they love to see the money in their pockets, but some of them probably get burnt out every now and then. It just is what it is.
I'm sure of it. Yeah. And again, that whole quote, that whole dynamic is just so interesting, because if you get caught in that comparison game, you're never going to be satisfied, because you're always going to be chasing the next iteration or the next version. What do you think for, again, thinking through whether it's construction or it's even some things that you do on the side, right? I think that there's like, we certainly live in a side hustle kind of culture, right? I think there's, what advice might you have for someone who's got, again, pursuing a construction job? People probably don't wake up and go, I always dreamed that I would be a construction worker.
Yeah.
Maybe some people have, right?
There definitely are some.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, my son for sure wants to
Yeah.
be, but he just wants to drive the equipment because
That'd be
his
fun.
dad does not have, any of those
Yeah.
bones in his body.
Yeah, I can
but,
tell
well,
just by looking at you.
wow.
I don't really have either, but
Yeah.
just by looking at you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so what advice would you have for someone who's maybe in a job that isn't their dream, but they still are showing up, they're a little bit exhausted, a little bit tired from it, and they have this idea or they have this concept they'd love to pursue.
Yeah.
What advice might you have for someone like that?
That's an interesting question. I feel like if you're not totally enjoying what you do, and like you said, like you're working to live, basically.
Yeah,
right? I think you just got to figure out why and what's your reason. So you could hate what you do, but what's your reason that you're still doing it? Is it,
Yeah.
do you have a family? Is it just maybe if I grind myself out for 2 more years, I'm going to find a better opportunity? I think that's just the biggest thing is to try to find why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And who you're doing it for. If you're doing it for yourself, then it's just, I got to put my nose to the grindstone and try to figure out something else.
Yeah.
But for right now, this is what's going to be.
Yeah, it's great. Before we let you go, we have this final section of our podcast called Rapid Fire Questions. We're going to put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
These
I'm
are
ready.
quick questions.
Okay. Let me readjust.
Give me like 1 to 2 word responses. I mean, really rattle this home. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. What's the best Bills game that you've ever attended?
Bills versus Colts, the snow globe game. Yeah, it was incredible.
I had ticket opportunities and I turned them down.
Yeah, that was a big miss.
What's your go-to country music artist or song?
I think I'm into the like the country rock, so like the Hardys. There's a
Yeah.
band called Treaty Oak Revival. If you haven't listened to them, rock on.
I got really excited. when you
Yeah, I
said
could tell.
Hardys.
It was something rising
I'm
up down
sorry.
below.
Yeah.
It was weird.
it was powerful.
Yeah, it was
sorry.
strange.
Which golf course anywhere is like your number one bucket list that you'd love to go play golf?
I think you got to go traditional and say St. Andrew's Old Course.
Wow.
Yeah, we should go. Like maybe next year
Let's go.
or sooner.
Thank you guys. Yeah, we're going to go. What is the most rewarding part of your job?
Rewarding part is seeing the customers and clients in their space when it's done.
Mm.
Sometimes it can be fun, sometimes it's not fun, but the ending, I think, no matter what, it's always a happy face and excited. It's excitement.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you could have drinks with any Bills player, past or present, who would you have drinks with?
I think if you don't say Josh Allen right now, you're a weirdo.
Oh.
I think me and Josh would be really, really good friends.
Yeah.
So Josh, if you're listening, let's hang out.
So Josh, if you could just leave a comment in the YouTube, that would be great. What's the best place that you and Tori have ever traveled?
Oh, I would say Greece.
Greece, New York.
Yeah, Greece, New York. I've been there several times on the weekends. A great time. No, Greece,
You ever heard of, TC
Santorini, Santorini, Mykonos. We've been there now twice,
Wow.
and I would go again.
Love it. Love it. Final question is, what are you going to name your baby? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We're not going to do this. We're
Mike Thomas Jr. Wesolowski.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
It goes good.
Wow. Well, Madison, thanks for jumping on, man. It's always good to chat with you and hang.
Yeah.
We're going to go grab a bite now and
Yeah, let's do it.
probably talk some more Bills.
Yeah, we'll have a
and
few pops.
few pops, hang out.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome. Again, thank you for jumping in, for taking some time, whether you're driving or you're watching on YouTube. We just appreciate you taking some time to listen to our podcast In Good Company, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. See you next time.